Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Well, yesterday, that's the start of the week, turned out to be a day of records for the markets. We did see the Nifty, the Sensex, the Nifty Bank and the mid-cap index, all of them making newer highs at the start of this truncated week. But towards the end of the session, while the Nifty managed to hold on to most of the gains and also ended at record closing highs, the other indices did see profit booking at higher levels. The question is, will the gains lift the Nifty to a newer peak, or is profit booking round the corner at these higher levels? Very good morning to all our viewers and good morning to you, Shail.
Very good morning to our viewers and first of all हिंदू नववर्ष की, चैत्र नवरात्रि की, गुड़ी पड़वा की आप सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। जो पैसा आपके पोर्टफोलियो में पिछले साल में बना है, इस साल उससे दूनी और चौगनी उन्नति हो, यही बिजनेस टुडे की तरफ से आप सबको शुभकामनाएं हैं। नाउ लेट अस लुक एट व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन द मार्केट। द डेली निफ्टी चार्ट इज राइट देयर इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू एज was mentioned. We've had a record close yesterday. What's really happened is there has been a range expansion and the previous resistance of 22,500, 530 has been taken out. A new one is in place which is much higher. We'll talk about that a little later. But strong internals as far as the Nifty is concerned. This is a truncated day. Therefore, this is a truncated week, which means Thursday is a holiday. And we'll be having the Nifty and the Bank Nifty expiry tomorrow. Today is the expiry of the Fin Nifty. Given all these complications in mind and the fact that we start the festival today, what I suggest is book some profit. If you were paying attention yesterday on the 22,600 call, we caught it at somewhere like 96, 97 rupees, 110 rupees, and it went all the way up to 150. Because it's a festival, it's always good to book partial profit. For those who are waiting in the sidelines, this might not be the right point to come in, but the fact is this is a glorious moment as far as markets are concerned. As Sakshi mentioned, new record highs on the Sensex, the Nifty, the Bank Nifty, as also the Fin Nifty. So good going, and any dips towards 22,500 need to be purchased. We are moving towards a higher trajectory. If you look at how Reliance and how Reliance and HDFC Bank are performing, they are the two leaders as far as the index is concerned. Within the Reliance option chain, you see a lot of activity happening. 3020 is opening up, 3040 is opening up. There is a lot of call unwinding in the money calls, and there is a space opening up at 3020, 3040 as far as Reliance is concerned. HDFC Bank is doing phenomenally well. It tested its 200-day DMA yesterday, and we see a lot of ITM call unwinding in the monthly options chart of HDFC Bank. 48, 1480, 1490, 1500, 1510 calls. These are all being unwound by bears, which essentially means that the mood and the tenor on HDFC Bank is towards strength. Because RIL and HDFC Bank are two of the heaviest weighted counters, it essentially means good times for the Nifty. If you are looking at the Nifty monthly chart, then you have a lot of activity happening at 22,800, 22,850. A lot of call unwinding is happening there, which basically means that bears are getting pushed back. So those two zones are now opening up. Given the fact that we've rallied fairly sharply, I think it's a good time to book partial profit on Nifty calls and then wait for better moments to come in. But the momentum, the strong internals are pretty strong. You have possibility of another day of gains, and we shall see how it opens for the first 15-20 minutes. If it goes above 22,700 for the first half an hour or so, then obviously newer and better options open up for the Nifty in higher zones. Sakshi.
Right. Let's also look at how the global cues are really shaping up. When we talk about the US stocks, they've essentially been unchanged at the close of the choppy session on Monday, with the solar eclipse offering a distraction ahead of the crucial inflation data and the kickoff of the first quarter earnings season as well. So you did see absolutely lackluster move on the Dow and the S&P 500, which closed just below the flat line. Nasdaq just managed to eke out some gains and managed to close above the flat line even yesterday, 0.03% of gains coming in on that one, but absolutely non-mentionable. With the kind of move in Asian markets in the early morning trading session, we did see all of them trading higher, even as the US Treasury yields put pressure on Wall Street equities. So we did see that of course, today will also be the day when Asian markets will also observe business confidence surveys from Australia and consumer confidence data from Japan. So that will be in the offing. So Nikkei is up about 0.5% ahead of it. Kospi is down by 0.1%. Hang Seng, however, is the one that is leading the Asian markets in the early opening trading action. So 0.7% of gains for that one. Shanghai is down about 0.25% in trade. Trends in the GIFT Nifty are indicating a stronger start for the index in India with a gain of 59 to 60 odd points, just about 0.3% off on a move on the upside. As far as the flows are concerned, remember FII's net sold shares worth about 684.6 crores in yesterday's trade, while the domestic institutional investors bought about 3,470 odd crore rupees worth of stocks in yesterday's trading action. Let's talk about some of the stocks that you need to keep an eye out on. Axis Bank, that's the one that I'm looking at because reports here suggest that Bain Capital is eyeing an exit from Axis Bank, launching around $430 million block deal, and this is after more than 6 years after making a big bang entry into Axis Bank, that Bain Capital is all set to actually make a complete exit from the private sector lender, as the US private equity major looks to dilute its balance stake and also launch a fresh block deal around $430 million. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. There are also reports that suggest that block deal could be launched at a floor price of 1725 rupees per share, which is a 7.3% discount to the closing price of Axis Bank as of yesterday of 1861 rupees per share. So I'm looking at that one. Tata Motors is the other one that I'm looking at here. JLR has reported full year sales that are up 20% on a year-on-year basis, and the wholesales for FY24 have inched up 25% to over 4 lakh units. Dilip Buildcon is another one that I'm looking at. It's been declared as the L1 bidder for a project worth 1,092 crores by Haryana Rail Infra Development Corporation. And the other one that I'm looking at is Anand Rathi Wealth. The company could be considering a buyback of equity shares in the board meeting on April 12th. So that stock will be continuing to be in focus over the next few days. And Shilpa Medicare, that's another one that I'm launching. It's launched a QIP to raise funds with a floor price set at 477 rupees per equity share. So those are some of the stocks that I'm watching at. Shail.
Let's look at KSP Pumps. This is a company that manufactures industrial pumps. They've said a board meet is due, and in this board meet a split will be discussed. We've seen the stock rocket to 3,983 in yesterday's trade. The all-time high for the counter is 4,221. And there has been a rapid movement from about 3,338, which was the low on 13th of March, to about 3,983. The point to remember here is that before such splits are put in place, normally the market reacts in a very practical and strong manner, and you see a sharp run up in similar stocks. As far as F&O space is concerned, a couple of things that need to be discussed are right there in front of you. We'll look at strength that is coming into rankings and strength that is coming into a lot of auto stocks. Remember, the auto index hit an all-time high yesterday, and the primary reason for that surge was two-wheeler stocks. We'll look at the chart of Eicher Motors, 4210 for you. The futures closed 4% higher. This was accompanied by a drop in open interest, which essentially means that a lot of bears are exiting their short positions, and therefore a lot of strength is expected from now on. You also saw Exide Industries being the top gainer in F&O space yesterday. The counter surged 17%, accompanied by a 9% rise in open interest. There is some kind of a pause that is expected in Exide after the sharp run up that you've seen, and on the long side we'll also be watching stocks such as Bharat Forge, 1179 for you, 2.9% higher as far as futures were concerned. Again, these are short coverings, therefore the open interest fell 6.5%, and we've seen very hectic activity coming in on all capital goods shares, including the likes of ABB, Siemens. To some extent, Bharat Forge is also categorized as a capital goods share. So you see that activity coming over in strength. The delivery statistics for Bharat Forge were also interesting. About 127-point increase as far as deliveries were concerned on Monday versus Friday. Sakshi, these are three stocks that I'm looking at.
Okay, let's also keep an eye out on what the brokerage houses have in their mind as far as some of the stocks are concerned. So, BofA or Bank of America has securities has come out with a report on Paytm. It's resumed their coverage with a target price of 400. They do believe that lending business growth could be gradual. Competition is high in the payments system. However, earnings recovery and re-rating could be 2 to 3 quarters away for this one, and therefore they expect the company to achieve EBITDA break even by FY27 and net income break even by FY28. Morgan Stanley on X side has come out with a report after yesterday's strong surge on the back of the tie-up of Hyundai and Kia as far as the localization of batteries is concerned. So they've come out with an overweight rating here with a target price of 373, which is lower than yesterday's move. They do believe that Exide plans to invest about 45 to 50 billion rupees as far as 6 gigawatt battery capacity is concerned, indicating that the lithium business is valued pretty strongly in this case as well. Apart from this, the cable and wire space is on the radar of HSBC. They have come out with a report where they have initiated and targeted, given some targets, fresh targets on some of these companies. Like Polycab is a buy on their list with a target price that has been raised to 58.70 now. As far as Polycab is concerned, KEI Industries is again a buy. Again here they have raised the target price to 38.50. RRR Kabel is another one, that's the recently listed stock, and here they have given a revised target of about 1800. And they do expect strong volume backed mid-teens year-on-year revenue growth and strong profit growth for these covered stocks as well. In the auto space, Morgan Stanley has come out with a report on Maruti Suzuki. Again, here they have given an overweight rating and they have raised the target price to 14,322. Remember, the stock was at a fresh record high yesterday, closed at 12,865, and they do believe that the stock has momentum to go upwards, especially with regards to global slowdown in the EVs and rising share of hybrids, along with rising news flow on hybrid duty cuts in India. That shows that a power trade portfolio strategy which MSIL has, which is best to navigate the current landscape as well. So those are some of the stocks which are on top of the radar of brokerage houses, and I'm keeping an eye out on all of these, Shail.
Let's look at some other parts of the market which have shown intense enthusiasm, and we'll focus on the Nifty expiry today. Remember, the index itself at 22,604 was at a record high yesterday. We have 14 constituents as far as this particular index is concerned. At 22,604, it's been the best performing index within the weekly expiry. And Muthoot Finance has been the top performer. No surprises there because of the surge that you've seen in gold prices. Muthoot, being a financer of against gold, has surged very sharply, up about 14% so far in the past month. It's led the rally on the Nifty at 21,604. The index itself has added 212 points or 1.7% as far as the index is concerned, and needless to add, it's at a record high. Apart from Muthoot Finance, you've seen a very strong move coming in on Shriram Finance. The counter is up 8.6% so far in this FNO expiry at 25.75, again record high. We've seen moves coming into LIC Housing Finance at about 5.8% during April. Stocks such as Power Finance Corporation are up 4.8% so far in the April expiry. Those on the losing side are Bajaj Finance and HDFC AMC, down about 2% as far as HDFC AMC is concerned, and Bajaj Finance down about 1%. So this is also on the radar. The Nifty expiry on Tuesday, the T-1 for for Bank Nifty as well as Nifty. Wednesday being the day for the weekly expiry for those two indices, and Thursday being a holiday. When we come back on Friday, there will be two important events. One is the earnings of TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, and the listing of Bharti Hexacom. So this is how the day is structured as far as Tuesday is concerned, and like I said, मंगलवार है तो मंगल होगा ही. साक्षी.
Right. Let's also welcome our guest on the show. Dharmesh Kant now joins in. He's the equity research head at Cholamandalam Securities. Warm welcome to you, Dharmesh, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Season's greetings for the new Samvat that's begun today and for Navratri as well. We've also seen a stupendous start to this new year because the markets are poised for, record run up, and we have been seeing several indices touching those record highs as well. How would you really look at the market setup now? Do you see this as a pre-election rally, and where exactly is this pre-election rally really headed going forward?
Good morning, Sakshi. Good morning, Salji. Navratri की आप सबको हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं. The run-up has been really great to the market and driven purely by liquidity which is flowing into. Surprisingly, and for the market, the business updates were very conducive for the fourth quarter, be it banking space, where the credit growth was higher than the deposit growth. Both have seen a healthy amount of traction. Car sales numbers were very strong. Auto sales numbers were mixed back, but again, Bajaj Auto and the auto companies which were more towards export oriented came out with a very good set of numbers. So was the case with even retail segment like Marico, Adani Wilbur reported very good set of numbers. Volume growth was there. Steel companies were recording highest production in the quarterly production which they came out with. Even jewelers came out with very good set of numbers. So top line this time seems to be better than what it was in Q3. So this is getting, merged with the pre-election rally setup, which is there, and the liquidity anyways is chasing in abundance to this market. So run-up can be anywhere. The grapevine conversation and the things which are doing the round is, the number is very startlingly high. It is 24,000 of what they are talking about by the first week of June. I do think if the operating margins and the profitability hold up to the type of top-line growth which we have seen, that number on the Nifty can be in sight. But having said that, let me again remind you, the earnings has to play out for this to be on a sustainable basis. Otherwise, it can be a spike up and then it will be the end of it. So we are watching it very carefully, but let the earnings flow, and then we will take a reasoned call on that.
Namaste, Dharmesh, and Hardik Shubhecha for you as far as Gudi Padwa is concerned. Happy New Year as far as the Hindu Navvarsh is concerned. Tell me, what is your wish list for the quarterly results that are upon us from coming Friday? How do you see TCS, and how do you see the overall functioning of corporate India in this particular quarter?
Shalji, good morning. Namaste, aapko bhi. As far as IT earnings are concerned, we are not expecting anything great or the fireworks out there. If they maintain what they guided in Q3, and there is no downward revision on their earnings growth going forward, it would be great for the IT sector to take up with. At least the stability and the bottom line should be in place if they guide for that. Apart from that, all other companies, I was expecting again around mid-single digit kind of a top line growth, but it seems like this time the top line growth will be better than what it was in Q3. So it's likely to be in early teens. If that's the scenario and the operating margins hold up, then around 15% kind of a sequential growth for the Q4 earnings is expected on the Nifty 50 basket. That will take the Nifty earnings for the entire FY24 to be around 1020 kind of a level, which would be a 5-6% outperformance to the consensus estimate which is there in the street. So this is how the macro or the aggregates are placed. Sector-wise, cement would be in a spot. I think there has been a price correction in the quarter gone by. So there's some deceleration in the PAT growth is likely to be seen. Automobiles will be a mixed bag. Maruti, Bajaj Auto, TVS, Eicher Motors are likely to come out with a good set of numbers. Hero Motor would be in line, nothing great out there. And coming to metal space, we'll see our traction this time around because the infra activity has been quite robust. So there we are expecting good profitability traction in double digits. And so is the case with other baskets like railway infra or defense space. The execution is very, very high in the Q4 for all the defense companies. They book them major profitability out there. So there the traction should be around 20% kind of a profitability growth. So overall, we are expecting a very good set of numbers. The only doubt which was there a couple of months back was because of a slower January and February when we did the dealer check, was missing on the top line growth, which does not seem to be the case, as March has been a very, very good month for all these companies, which is cyclical and consumer facing companies. So there the things have improved in the month of March. So this was a surprise when the business update came. And I mean, I was a bit skeptical on the earnings growth a month back. So I think now I am more in a neutral zone. Still not very bullish. Let's see the numbers and then we'll take a call from there.
Okay. Dharmesh ji, let's quickly look at how the markets have hit pre-open, and then I'll come to you with specific questions. So about 22,753, it could be a record opening as is indicated in the pre-opening action for the Nifty. Right now, let's look at a few stocks. Let's look at HDFC Bank, that's opening about 0.5% higher in the pre-opening space, 1553. Let's also look at the tech heavyweights, TCS, Infosys, because this week is important for them. Half odd percent gains coming in, 1485 currently on Infosys. That's an uptick of half odd percent. So TCS just about flat with the positive bias as of now. Let's also look at what Reliance Industries is doing, the other heavyweight counter, to see how that one is shaping up. Yesterday it did support the Nifty and the gains on that one as well. Let's look at if there are any. So flattish, absolutely. There is no movement right now on this one. But let's look at Axis Bank, because that's the important stock to watch out for today, as Bain Capital is looking to exit entirely with a block deal of $430 million block deal. So about 2.7% uptick at 1105. This will be absolutely important to track. Let's also look at what Tata Motors is doing at this point in time on the back of JLR volume sales and brokerage houses reports that continuously put higher targets on Tata Motors as well. 1% higher for this one, 1024 currently for this one too. Auto space is likely to be in focus. M&M, let's look at that one. Eicher Motors, the entire space looks to be in the positive zone. Remember, yesterday there was a very sharp and strong uptake across the board, and we did see many stocks like M&M, Maruti, Eicher, all three of them hitting lifetime highs. Again, a half odd percent increase on M&M. Let's also look at what Maruti is doing, a very strong target upgrade by brokerage houses of over 14,000 odd. Flattish with a positive bias right now, 12,871 for this one. And Eicher Motors about 1% higher, 4247 currently. Dharmesh ji, first up on Axis Bank, could you give us your sense of how are you reading into this news flow of Bain Capital looking to sell entirely its stake of $430 million block deal? We will get to know more details on this as to what is the price at which it is finally happening, this deal is happening, who are the buyers. Of course, by the end of the day is when we will come to know. But what does it mean for Axis Bank as of now?
I don't think this would mean anything to any of the companies, because we have seen so many block deals happening. It's just change of hands. So somebody who was there quite early in the trade and now they think their investment should be materialized or profit should be booked. So they have all the right to do so. At the same time, if there is a taker, that's a big, big, positive go ahead, because if somebody is entering at current price levels, so they are also expecting the similar kind of gains going forward, say next 3 to 5 years. So these are long-term investments which take place, and they do have a conviction in the company. That is the reason why such a huge amount of money is being invested at current levels. So it's a change of hands, and nothing much to read into. It may offer a trading opportunity for a few of the hot money traders. So there, if the opportunity is there, the buy. I mean, any decline should be bought into, not to be looked into in a negative way.
Okay, so that's as far as Axis Bank is also concerned. Let's now talk auto stocks. Tata Motors, what is your sense with the back of the numbers that have come in for FY24 of JLR? And this is one of the reasons why Tata Motors has truly outperformed in the calendar year. It was the Nifty's top performing stock, gave a handsome return to investors and continues to move up higher, with brokerage houses continuing to give positive targets on this one. How much more steam is left? Is this also a fresh entry point for Tata Motors, you believe?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, more than JLR numbers, it is a demerger thing, which is a big positive play for the Tata Motors. And if you look at the JLR major market has been the US and the China, and both the economies are now picking up. So US has been doing fairly well, despite the very observations of people that it may do a soft landing. But nothing like that is happening out there. In fact, the GDP growth has been revised from 1.4% to 2.1% for calendar year 24. Same has been the case with China. It is again back onto a growth path. So these are the major economies, and India has been picked up. India still is a very small portion for JLR, but China and US doing well. There is no reason for this segment to do not well. So this continuity will be there. At the same time, the demerger, it will take a time. 1.5 years is the time frame by which this should happen. But that's a big positive for the Tata Motors. SOTP based a very conservative valuation. If I take around 40% kind of up move is still pending in Tata Motors over a period of time. So whether it materializes soon or it takes its own sweet time has to be seen. But that's the investment trade we are setting.
So, staying with the auto space, we did see all-time high levels on at least 3 or 4 stocks yesterday. Within the four-wheeler pack, Tata Motors, Maruti, M&M, what would your pecking order be? And where would the two-wheeler majors like Eicher Motors come in? How are you designing that fresh investment and fresh deployment of funds within the auto space now?
Sakshi, for a month back, we have been maintaining as far as four-wheeler passenger vehicle segment is concerned, there's only one bet, and that is Tata Motors. So that we are very clear on. Though Maruti has done very well, but still, I think valuation is way too high, expensive, and it has reached that stratospheric level. So we'll go by Tata Motors, the only one stock which I see would be doing really great in this year and the next year. So that's there. In the two-wheeler space, because of sports being picking up in a big way and premiumization has been the theme of late. So there, Bajaj Auto stands very tall because it has the mix of both. It has a 40-45% kind of an export basket. At the same time, they are into premium segment of motorcycle sales. So that stands out there. Would avoid Eicher Motors or a TVS or Hero MotoCorp in the two-wheeler space. M&M is a diversified play across MSCV, SUV, and farm equipment segment. Farm equipment, my own senses this year would be a bad. It's because it's a cyclical trade, and anyways things are not shaping up well out there. So it will have its own kind of bitter pills to swallow. But the stock price has been doing well. So, but we will leave it at that. So, if you only two stocks which we are betting out from the vehicle segment, one is the Tata Motors and the other is the Bajaj Auto. In spite of them being at all-time highs, we do expect good traction going forward.
Okay. We'll also look at the Fin Nifty. It's trying to settle somewhere like 0.5% higher, 716. Remember, it's the weekly expiry for the Fin Nifty today. And surprise, surprise, it's consisting of 20 stocks. All 20 of them are in the green. Let's look at some other stocks that are doing pretty well as far as pre-open is concerned. All four major indices are trying to open in the green, which is the Nifty Bank, NSE 500, as also the IT index. Coming back to stocks, Dixon Technologies 2% higher, 7,800 in pre-open. This company has purchased a Noida-based electronic manufacturer, and this should shine well in trade. You also have a strong move coming into block deal companies. Axis Bank 1.3% higher, 1,090, and I also want to look at what's happening in Gland Pharma, if we can get that stock somewhere. 1 second, let me put that in place. Gland Pharma is also one of the companies that is going to have a block deal today. 1769 for you, down about 4.8%. Remember, the discount on the block deal is somewhere to the tune of 7.2%. Avni is with us. A very good morning to you, Avni. Happy Gudi Padwa and Happy New Year. How do you see the markets at this point of time? Your two stock picks for today.
Good morning, Shail. Good morning, Sakshi, all the panelists, and a very good morning to all the viewers as well. Happy Ugadi and Gudi Padwa. Yes, firstly on the index, I would like to give a view that everything is in place. there is minor, a kind of, you can say that there is a resting period that market saw yesterday, both Nifty and Bank Nifty. After the opening, it did not move much, but overall the texture of the market is positive. So any kind of dip, if we see in the markets, then it's a buying opportunity. We are heading towards around 49 200 on Bank Nifty and 22,800 to 23,000 on Nifty. So these are the levels to keep in mind. Now, what are the stocks that would be doing good? So from the banking space, I think I would go with the PSU major, which is SBI. Now, SBI has seen a short covering of around 2.5%, and a good support base was already formed at 750. And also, there's a lot of additions seen at 760 put on the writing side. So, I think it's trying to form a good base at 760 as well. So, it closed at around 768, and if we see any kind of dip or minor profit booking up to around 763, we can add more at those levels. Target for this particular stock will be 795 and 800 on the upside, and we can keep a stop loss of 755. The second pick would be from the cement space, which is Grasim. So Grasim initially yesterday saw a short covering and then a minor long addition of around 0.6% during the day. And short covering is also seen in 2300 call and some bit of unwinding seen in 2350 call also. So this is a very positive sign since the call writers are exiting their positions and a good support base has been formed at 2250. So Grasim would be a buy for a target of 2350, and the stop loss can be kept at 2240.
Okay, we are just about 30 seconds away from opening trades. Avni, I'll request you to keep an eye out on Cochin Shipyard as well. The counter has been doing pretty well at a record high. Let's see how it opens. But for the moment, we are looking at a nice 100-point gap up on the Nifty, a fresh record high. We are looking at a 229-point gap up on the Nifty Bank, 48,810. The mood, the tenor, the underlying granularity of the market points to an extension of the bull market. This is possibly a time that you should be booking partial profits, but only time will tell how that falls through. Okay, the Nifty is opened 65 points higher, 22,730. Bank Nifty has a 67-point uptick. The IT index is now 115 points higher, 35,178, and the NSE 500 is opening a third of a percent higher. The mood is absolutely bullish on the Lal Street. Let's look at the green tick on the Nifty is contributed firstly by Axis Bank. A block deal is due there, 0.5% up, 1,081. Let's look at how HDFC Bank is doing, flat 47. Remember, this is near its 200-day DMA, and therefore this is something that is likely to bounce sharply from current levels. Reliance quiet, a rupee lower, 29.70, nothing to be worried about. It was the top performer yesterday, so it's snoozing a bit. Apart from that, the top gainer among the top index heavyweights is Tata Motors, 1.2% higher, 1,025. Infosys 1% higher, 1490. The Bajaj twins are 0.5% higher each. ICICI Bank 0.5% higher, 1091, and L&T is 0.2% higher. We'll very quickly look at how the F&O part of the market is working minus the index heavyweights. As far as moves are concerned, let's look at the most active counters. Exide 0.5% higher again, 379. Already about 45 crores worth of transactions have happened. Very strong move coming in on copper. Hind Copper 336, 1.4% higher. Dixon Technologies and Fine Shape 1.9% higher, 1788. Amongst the surprise top gainers, okay, Godrej Properties, ladies and gentlemen, 2718, 5% higher. Canfin Homes 2% higher. We'll shift focus to NSE 500 immediately. Anand Rathi Wealth, the company is going to consider a buyback, and the counter is on fire. 5% higher, 3925. Strong moves coming in on 361. This is again a wealth management company, 744, 3% higher. KSB Limited, the counter that I had highlighted, 3% higher. The company going to discuss a stock split as of now. Record highs at the moment. Godrej Properties 5% higher. Nuvama 1.8% higher, 51.43. Gas Authority 0.5% higher, 201.65. M&M Maruti. So the auto strength is visible. Coming to you, Avni, anything that catches your interest in the opening trades, how do you see them, and any calls that you'd like to take?
Yes, Shail. So what I can see is there's a good accumulation happening in TVS Motor as well. So one can look at buying TVS Motor probably one second. So one can keep a stop loss of 2096 on the stock, and on the upside, I think it can test up to 2208. And if that level is crossed, then we are looking at around 2250 levels on the upside. So TVS Motor should also perform for intraday as well as for a short term, about a week's time.
Okay, let's again look at some of the other stocks that are buzzing in trade. Stocks from the news flows list. Dilip Buildcon, the company's got 1,092 crore rupees order. The stock shot up in early trade, and even now it's trading about 4-5% higher in trade in the opening session. Sula Vineyards came out with a Q4 update, and that stock is inching higher as well. Cement space, since both of our guests are bullish on that, the one company that's in focus is NCL India. Here the production is up 4%, and there you can see an uptick of about 3.5% odd on this one too. The other space again which will be in focus will be the insurance space entirely, which came out with the Q4 update and the March premium update as well. We'll keep an eye out on that one. The entire space is in focus. Dixon Technologies is the other one that's in focus right now. It's up by 1.5% odd in trade right now. Let's ask you, Avni, to give your view on NCL India. Do you have a view on that, since you were bullish on the cement space? Would you have a call on this one?
Yes, so it's definitely a buy. NCL India, we hold a positive view on the stock, and our targets are just a disclaimer that the stock has been initiated by us. We have recommended to our clients. On the upside, the trading target is around 250, and the stop loss from here on, because it has already moved up, we can trail the stop loss, keep a trailing stop loss of around 210.
Okay, got that. Dharmesh ji, anything in the cement space that you can come up with? You know, Shree Cement is up in trade. We have smaller players like NCL that are moving up. So, and since you also said that cement is something that you'll be keeping a keen eye out on, any one or two stocks that you are positive on?
Yeah, I think the cement space, Ultratech Cement and Ambuja, these are the two counters which should be bought into declines, but not to chase the rally. So I think if there's a juice left, around 5 to 7% kind of price traction can happen in the stock price, but that's more to do with the trading bet. After the Q4 results are there, then a more reasoned call can be taken out on the cement space. My personal sense is they are struggling with the price hikes, even if they are doing it optically, but dealer discount is again given back. So net effect is there has not been any increase in the blended realization. And the operating margin play which was there is now to be stabilized. So any uptick on the inflation will have a dent on the operating margin. So cement, we are bullish on the volume side. But stock price action is limited to the trading range. So 5-7%, if you want to play it out, it has to be Ambuja Cement and Ultratech.
Let's look at the IT pack. I think there is a build-up of long positions happening ahead of TCS earnings on Friday. The entire IT pack is up except for Naukri. In the F&O space, strong moves coming in on Oracle Finance, 1.4% higher. The rally is actually led by Infosys, 1499, 1.1% higher. Coming to you, Avni, any view that you would have on Infosys? The index itself has now 0.66% higher, 35,293. Your view on Infosys?
Since as you said that it's the results earnings season coming up, and I mean TCS will be the first stock to come up with the results. That's why prior to results, this is a minor short covering rally, but I am not too bullish on the stock. In this space, if you ask me, I think the better stock is TCS and LTTS. These are the two stocks one can go with. Infosys, there can be a short covering rally. It may touch up to around 1530, but beyond that, sustenance is a question mark.
Okay. Infosys, ladies and gentlemen, has bounced from its 200-day moving average as of yesterday, and at the moment it's negotiating at 1495, the 5-day exponential moving average. We'll see how it goes, but the stock has corrected sharply from 1731, what it was in 6th of February, to somewhere like 1480 as of now. This is probably the start of the pre-earnings session as far as Infosys is concerned, and as I had pointed out, it's accompanied by a drop in open interest, which basically means that the shorts are being covered. TCS 3991, 0.3% higher. Remember, on Friday you will have the earnings coming in from this one. Where exactly are markets headed? Let's look at open interest build-ups. Godrej Property, about 6.6% higher. Needless to add, this is a record high. Avni, would you chase this move on Godrej Properties, or is this time to pause?
See, I think if you look at the weekly charts, it's a beautifully rounding bottom formed, and the breakout for which has occurred at 2590. I don't think the stock is going to stop anywhere before testing around 3000 levels. So I would, at current levels, if you ask me, it's a good way to enter the stock in a staggered manner. One can should not leave the stock at current levels. One can chase because there is a lot of upside still left, and if at all there is any small kind of profit booking or a retracement, one should be ready to add more at lower levels of around 2650. So I'll definitely buy at current levels also, and keep some room for adding more at the lower level of 2650. The upside target is 3000.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Godrej Properties. Let's look at stocks that have hit record highs, and that will give you an idea as to where the market is concerned. Remember, in the early morning commentary, we had hinted that this is probably a day for profit booking. So the day's high, which is 22,730 odd on the index, has been sold into, and we see a fairly strong bout of profit booking coming in at those levels. 22,765 was the high as far as the cash markets are concerned, and from then on we've slipped about 100 points from these levels. We have the weekly expiry of the Nifty a day in advance because Thursday is a holiday, and therefore a lot of options premia are also getting squeezed. We'll also pay attention to some other stocks as far as the all-time highs are concerned. Lot many names which are familiar are with us. Let's just take a view on Maruti. How do you see Maruti, Avni, at current levels? 12,843. Is it overheated or should we stay away?
The overall target for Maruti is 13,000, but yes, this stock is not worth chasing, because it does come down. It will give you an opportunity to enter, re-enter again. So around 12,575 to 12,600 is a comfortable level where the risk reward turns quite favorable. So that should be the level you should wait for entering into this stock. Overall target on the upside is 13,000.
Okay, Dharmesh ji, let's get you in the conversation as far as the entire real estate move is concerned. Another day when 1.5% uptick can be seen on, there is no let-up in the kind of rally that Nifty Realty has displayed. It was the top moving sectoral index of FY24, and FY25 seems to have begun with a very strong note. And of course, on the back of the updates that most of these companies are giving us with respect to sales, promise that is happening, bookings that are higher than the guidance for the earlier FY24 as well, and therefore we do see Godrej Properties, Puravankara is up 8% in trade today, and along with it a whole host of other stocks like Sobha, Prestige, Macrotech Developers. They've been in a constant buzz. How does one really decide which realty stock to really go with, since updates from most of them are pretty promising? How does one really decide where to put in fresh money?
Very simple answer, go for a basket buy. Don't do the pecking order out here. Because real estate, if you see the entire pan India, it's been buzzing. It's not only, I mean, if you look, do a checkout in East India, where none of these companies are present in a large way, even there the real estate story is holding up to a very good extent, and there the selling is happening at a much higher levels than what it was. So we did a pan India, check out on the real estate prices and how the bookings are happening. It's a robust story everywhere. And this is coming on the backdrop of such a high interest rate. If you look at the home loan interest rate, it's around 10.5, 10.6 kind of a home loan rates are there in the system. And still these bookings are happening. And it's now from the premium or the luxury segment, the bookings are shifting to the affordable segment as well, or the mid segment, you can say so. Puravankara, Ludha, Macrotech, these are the examples of the affordable segment also picking up in a big way. I think we are in the last leg of the real estate rally, the last zone. As far as stock prices are concerned, the numbers will still keep on coming, business will still do well. But as far as the valuation is concerned, it's hitting on to the last zone. And the last one still has 30-35% kind of an upside. So even this year for FY25, the real estate index should be around up 12 to 15%. That was our take at the beginning of this financial year, and we stick by that. So if the index is going to do a 12-15% kind of a gain, there will be select stocks which will do pretty well. And there I think Macrotech Developers, DLF and Phoenix Mail, it stands out to a large extent. Though South India-based players, we are not betting high on them, though the stock prices may have moved up, but we are just keeping them in the neutral zone.
Okay. Apart from this, would you also play the real estate boom along with the ancillaries, say stocks from the metals basket, cement you've already discussed, infra space, smaller infra players like PNC, for example, IRB Infra, they have been in momentum. Should one also look at adding on to that when one is looking at the entire infra real estate boom?
Yeah, infrastructure is going to be there because I don't think government spending is going to come down on that. And the projects which have been started has to be completed. So there the revenue will keep on trickling in. PNC Infra, Buildcon and all are a good place out there. Even Ashoka Buildcon has been doing pretty well. So all these small infra companies, all are, geographically centric infra companies are likely to do well. L&T is a big conglomerate, so that's a father of all. L&T and NCC can always be there in your basket. But I think PNC, Ahuwalia, Dilip Buildcon, Ashoka Buildcon, all are likely to do well. IRB again has come off a seas, and the toll collections have been pretty good for them. So that's also likely to be a beneficiary of the entire economic boom which we are seeing. But IRB has moved from more of an infra construction player to more of a service-oriented player. So there's a distinction between that. Nonetheless, things are likely to do well, and they now, whatever projects they do, there's an escalation clause for the pass on of the input prices. So that takes care of their margins. So pretty well placed. I think 15-17% kind of a growth should be there on all these infra players as well.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's do some good option spotting. We'll start with the Nifty IT index. The index itself is up now 420 points. Remember, it started up at about 100 points, and from then on it's gathered a lot of momentum, 1.2% higher. Needless to add, this is the top performing index. We'll pay attention to the Infosys 1500 call, which should be right there in front of you. At the moment it's a bit overheated, 49 rupees. It had opened 40 rupees in the morning, and if you see the overall picture, this call had gone all the way up to 170 rupees somewhere on 14th of March. So that's the volatility as far as prices are concerned. Remember, it's the first day of the move on Infosys. As far as the move for 200-day DMA is concerned, a lot of activity will start happening towards its earnings. TCS announces its earnings on Friday, and the 1500 Infosys call expiring November 20, expiring April 25th is right there on the screen. Please keep an eye out on this one. The other spotting that one needs to do is the Fin Nifty 21700 call as far as prices are concerned for April 9th. Remember, there is a lot of theta decay that happens at this point of time. The call started somewhere like 60 rupees in the morning, and it is now at about 34 rupees. The view is that given the rally that has happened in the last week, Fin Nifty will remain absolutely flat today. So option premium will be sucked out. Therefore, 34 should go down to single digits. We'll keep both these calls as far as prices are mentioned during the day. As also, you need to now watch Canfin Homes. The counters running up very rapidly, 830 for you, and the volume is already 10,11,000 shares. This is something that Avni needs to comment on. Avni, your view on Canfin Homes, the most recent high being 860. What are the charts telling you?
So that's exactly where the stock is heading, around 855 to 860. But if you look at the volumes, today is the day when volumes have picked up quite well since opening trades. Otherwise, in the past few days, the volume has been on the lower side. But there is no, limited downside. The stock should head towards around 855. If there is good volume activity that continues for next couple of days, then probably we may see a breakout above 855 to 860 area also. But as of now, we'll work with the trading target of 855.
Okay. What's also back in action is Voltas, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, it had gone up by something like 8.5%, 9% yesterday, but after that gap up opening and the subsequent 10% rise, the counter had sort of mellowed down. The rally has again started on Voltas at about 1330 rupees. Is right there in front of you. Normally, because it's so overheated, we will not be doing a technical check. We are just marking the price for you. Yesterday's volume on Voltas was somewhere like 1 crore 4,44,000 shares. Fairly strong moves that came in yesterday. There's no stopping Godrej Properties, and there is absolutely no stopping the IT index. Now 475 points higher, 35,535. And a whole host of IT stocks are now rallying very, very sharply. Remember, we caught this trade really early on business today. Emphasis is up 1.7%. Oracle Financial Services is up 1.7%. Infosys we caught at 1499 is now at 1508, up about 1.6%. And hectic activity is happening on Infosys futures. About 9,333 of them lots have been checked. Sakshi.
Okay, the other stock that Dharmesh ji, I wanted you to give us your view on is Nykaa, simply because it came out with an expectation that it is going to be posting high 20s and high 30s kind of growth in revenue, as well as their merchandise value as well. Of course, the stock reacted yesterday very strongly, about 5-6 odd percent, and again another 1.5% move can be seen today. Is the worst behind for Nykaa?
I mean, difficult to say. The valuations are still sky high, and the segment in which Nika is there is a well-discovered segment. There's no newness out there. They have been able to get entrenchment. I mean, with the likes of HUL, the same space they have been fighting on their Lakme products and the range out there. But I do think it's a long haul. If you want to take a call for say 3 to 5 years and see how it plays out, one can stay invested. As far as investors like me is concerned, I won't be venturing into Nika.
Okay, any other new age tech stocks that you'll be watching out for in the upcoming earnings season where you may be thinking and watching out closely?
The newest tech stocks, the problem is most of the fintechs were there and they are under scrutiny by the RBI. And I do think after the elections are over, there would be many stringent measures coming out there. So hardly any space left out there. Zomato is the one which has been doing well. So maybe that one can play out with the higher volumes of profitability is likely to pick up out there. Other than that, most of the thematic concepts have not played out the way it was expected to be. And where the play has been there has been compliance issues. So we are just avoiding that segment as of now.
Okay, so that's as far as the new age tech space is concerned. Avni, would you want to comment on any of the charts from the new age tech stocks that you are liking currently that you may want to follow on? Will it be Zomato again, just like how Dharmesh ji picked up fundamentally, even promising on the technical charts, or is there anything else that's on your radar?
So basically, yeah, that's the only stock we had discussed earlier also, that 175 was a breakout level, and above that, there is no stopping to the stock. So I'll stick to Zomato, not looking at any other stock.
Okay, stick to Zomato as of now. All right, Dharmesh ji, I wanted to ask you on the entire insurance space as well, which I briefly mentioned. There is a lot of update coming in. A lot of companies reporting a sharp surge for the March premium. So ICICI Lombard has recorded an 18% year-on-year growth for March premium. Star Health has also recorded an 18% growth. Bajaj Allianz has recorded 34% year-on-year growth. So Bajaj Finserv will be in focus on the back of that. NIACL has recorded a 7.5% premium growth, and GIC Ray has seen a 12.8% premium growth. How are you looking at this entire insurance basket of stocks? I didn't mention LIC, but even LIC is up about 1% in trade today. And this came briefly in focus, then again lied low for some time. How should one really approach this space now?
See, as far as investment is concerned, the best pick is LIC because of the valuation comfort it offers. And Q4 is usually the best quarter for all the insurance companies. And seeing by the way the economy has performed, the direct tax, indirect tax collection has been there. So this new business premium has to be higher for Q4, where the bulk of the business activity happens for most of the insurance companies, especially on the life insurance front. We have always maintained that insurance space has to be played with, say, at least 3 to 5 years kind of a time period horizon. If you are having that horizon, then it's always a very good and better buy. And there, the valuation is still to be discovered for most of these companies because there has been the penetration level is still very low, so it has to go up to a higher extent. And there, LIC seems to be the best play on the life insurance segment. General insurance has been doing well. So a basket approach with at least 40% allocation to the LIC and the rest you can do on an equal weighted basis is the right approach to go with this thing. Don't worry about the swings in between. So just avoid that, ignore that swings. The intermittent swings will be there. But year on year, you will see at least 10 to 12% kind of a CAGR on the stock price for most of the companies for next 3 to 4 years. And then there can be a big leap out there.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the entire insurance space is concerned. Avni, to you, I wanted to ask your view on the entire consumer durable space that got in the thick of action with the anticipated higher demand during summer and higher sales. We're also looking at brokerage houses reports pegging higher targets for cables and wires companies on the back of expectations on higher power demand as well. So stocks like Polycab, Havells, they are coming back in focus. Voltas, we've discussed already how it shot up in trade yesterday and continues to be in momentum. Within this space, any top 2 or 3 stocks that are looking absolutely promising on the technical charts for the summer specific stocks that one can really include in their portfolios?
Thanks. Thank you.
See, I think Havells is a good reversal candidate from current levels. Polycab has already moved up, and I think it should consolidate within a small price range. Not much of an upside in that stock. But from the short term, around 2 to 3 months perspective, I think Havells looks like a good reversal candidate. It has corrected quite a bit. And now, it's taking support at the short term moving averages of 10 days, 20 days. It has been taking support and trading above
Right. Please
that.
continue.
So we somewhere up to around 1,6,200.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the entire consumer durable space is concerned. Apart from this, I wanted to take your view on Adani Ports also, Avni. This stock was in the thick of action, was the best performing Adani Group stocks about a few weeks ago, and a constant move was being seen day after day. It slipped after that, consolidated a bit, back in action today, 1% higher. How do you see the future move on Adani Ports now?
So if you look at the long-term charts, forget about the short-term moves that are there. But if you look at the long-term chart, I think on the weekly charts, it has never broken 20-day moving average. It always takes support around those levels and turns around. So from current levels, it may come down further a little more up to around 1,320, where the risk reward turns very favorable to go long. On the upside, it should test around 1,435 levels.
Let's look at the PSU basket, where a lot of trading interest is now back. We'll focus on HUDCO, 3% higher, 215.30. There's a very, very strong move coming in on Gas Authority, 1.6% higher, 204. Equally strong move on metal counters such as National Aluminium and Hindustan Copper. NMDC at 225.85 is about more than 1% higher. It at its highest as far as the week is concerned, and you have a strong move, of course, coming into asset-based companies within the PSU setup, which is Hemisphere Properties, 3.5% higher, 217.90. Needless to add, seeing how Canfin Homes has worked, its PNB Housing, which is also showing resurfaced momentum, 3% higher, 787. Avni, this question is to you. Anything within the PSU basket that catches your fancy on the long side? There is hectic activity on the volume side as well.
Yes, so I think NMDC will be my pick. It has corrected big time in last 2-3 weeks back, and then consolidated for quite some time. And now it is trading. It has moved above all the short-term moving averages. It is ready to move up again up to around 252. So NMDC would be my pick.
Okay, this is a stock which is again showing very, very strong moves. Yesterday's high was about 220 rupees. It is now at 226.25. So a breakout in price as well as volume. Let's mark some other stocks which are doing phenomenally well in trade. I have to check out Muthoot Finance. This is 1689. The reason why I mentioned this is twofold. There is further activity on gold as far as the long side is concerned. Muthoot Finance will most probably overcome its most recent high, which was 1696. Avni, would you give a view on Muthoot Finance? 1689 for you?
See, the stock has already moved up quite a bit, and the next breakout level, the all-time high is somewhere around 1720. So I will not chase the stock at current levels. If it gives a breakout above 720, then a new leg of rally will start. So I'll either wait for 1720 level to be crossed, or if at all there is any dip close to around 1555. At current levels, it's in a no trading zone for me.
Okay. I think one stock that again requires our attention, ladies and gentlemen, is Federal Bank. At about 157.60, it's trying to overcome its previous high on 6th of March, as also something that had happened on 16th of February. Before this moves out further, Avni, would you stick your neck out on Federal Bank? What are the charts telling you?
Definitely, Federal Bank is a buy with a stop loss of 151. If at all there is any dip like what we saw yesterday, somewhere around 155, add more. Buy at current levels also. 151 will be your stop loss. On the upside, the stock is heading towards 168 level.
Okay, action picking up in the mid and the small cap space as well, with the Nifty small cap 100 index now up 0.6% odd, and about 0.4% of an uptick also being seen on the mid cap 100 space. A slew of stocks that are doing very well in this space, especially in the mid cap IT names. We do spot a lot of them which are now trading at the day's high level as well. So stocks like First Source Solutions, Emphasis, L&T Technology Services, KPIT Technology, all of them are buzzing in trade. Apart from this, you also have stocks like from the housing finance names like Canfin Homes, PNB Housing Finance. Then you also have this L&T Finance as well, that's also doing well at this point in time. You also have Reddington, JBM Auto doing well. Some pharma names too sticking out. I mean, so Piramal Pharma, Natco Pharma, they're coming back in action. Max Healthcare, those are some of the stocks. Global Health is coming back in action again. So a lot of action really taking place in the mid and the small cap space. What looks positive to you, Avni, in the mid and the small cap basket as of now?
Wouldn't really call it a mid and small cap basket, but one stock that looks pretty good to me is Max Financial Services Limited. It is heading towards 1145 on the upside. We have recommended the stock to our clients, and one can enter at current levels also. The stop loss can be kept at 1010. So the risk reward is pretty good. The upsides are pretty good for this particular stock.
Okay, got that. A few other stocks, let me just pick out a trend and ask you to give us your view on, maybe if we can spot. So pharma space specifically, if you can give us your sense on Natco, Piramal, Global Health, small pharma names. Anything looks good to you in the entire pharma space right now?
So I think out of the all the names that you've taken, Piramal Enterprise looks good from the risk reward perspective. No major traction yet, but once it crosses its 50-day moving average on the daily charts, which is at around 878 currently, once that level is crossed, I think we should see a good up move. But from the risk reward point of view, there is limited downside in the stock. So one can invest into this and stay invested, wait for the breakout levels.
Okay, JB Chemicals and Pharma is also picking up now, about 1.5% higher from the pharma space. So that's as far as the pharma pack is concerned. And the metal space is back in action, Avni. What looks positive to you here? SAIL is up in trade, Nalco is up in trade. We have already discussed Hindustan Copper, that's been buzzing as well. And the metal space has been in a constant uptrend. The best stock, would you go with the large cap names like a Tata Steel or a JSW or a JSPL? Or would you go with the PSU names right there? How would you really define where exactly is momentum?
So my bet is on JSW Steel. This stock also we had given earlier also on this show also I had recommended. And JSW Steel remains to be the top pick for me. It is on the cusp of a breakout above 885. So I think this breakout should occur very soon. And then after that, the upside is up to around 920. So very well placed for a breakout.
Okay. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll focus on the Nifty weekly expiry. Remember, we had showed you the 21,700 call as far as the options expiry is concerned today. It was marked at about 34 rupees. We'll just see the current price right there in front of you. In a span of less than 10 odd minutes, it's slipped to 24 rupees. So 10 rupees is what you've pocketed, and that's how options premier work. For the moment, we'll pause this trade, but this one should go back to zero, because that's how options work on weekly expiry day. We'll keep an eye out on this one. The other call that is gathering a lot of momentum is the Emphasis 2500 call, which is expiring on April 25th. We'll also keep an eye out on that one. It's at about 99 rupees 35 paisa. A bit of a breather coming in. The most recent high is 106 rupees intraday, and if you look at the long term chart of this call, we've seen an all-time high of about 111 rupees. It's almost there, but given the fact that a fresh move has started on IT stocks, the chart of Emphasis looks pretty good. We'll take Avni's view on the underlying stock. Emphasis at 2500. Avni, what are the charts telling you?
So again, the resistance for this particular stock is around 2530. Let it cross 2530 level, the momentum will pick up big time, and then the stock can move up to 2660. Current levels, wait for the breakout up to about 2530.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind, but for those who are interested in options, please keep an eye out on the 2500 Emphasis call, the 1500 Infosys call, and of course the very short term trade, which is 21700 Fin Nifty call, which expires on April 9th. That trade, by the way, has been done. Okay, we'll again focus on where the money is moving in, and ladies and gentlemen, it's Excite Batteries 384. Bit of a pause early morning, but again the momentum has started. A low of 374.65 in the morning, and now a fresh record high. Avni, what are the charts of Excite telling you? You want to chase this one, or enough is enough?
Excite has given a monthly breakout about 305, and I don't think the stock is going to stop anywhere before testing 487 level. So that's the price extension level. I would like to chase the stock. It is moving towards 487 levels, and at current levels also it looks like a good buy. There's a lot of upside left.
Okay. All right, so momentum picking up. Both the Sensex and the Nifty are moving to the high point of the day. Record highs on both of them, 22,753 on the Nifty right now, about 90 points higher in trade. So that's the buzz really coming in, and it's all the sectors that are contributing to the markets and the Nifty's rally, barring I think just the PSU banks, which have also now come into the green. It's all the sectors are consistently performing. Realty, IT, small caps, metals, private banks, they're all supporting the market move as of now. Infosys, LTI, Mindtree, HCL Tech, these are the kind of top movers. From the metal space, it's Hindalco that's moving up in trade, Tata Steel as well. Some of the banking names like ICICI Bank are pulling up the markets as well. From the private banking space, Avni, if you could tell us which is your top favorite stock in terms of charts. Federal Bank, City Union Bank, RBL Bank. Are you looking at these second rung private banks, or are you looking at the first rung ones like ICICI Axis or Kotak as of now?
I think my topic from current levels would be ICICI Bank from the frontline counters. And there's one particular stock that we had discussed earlier also, which is Bank of Maharashtra. So Bank of Maharashtra is from the second layer of stocks, banking stocks. It looks pretty good for a target of 75 rupees. And the first time that we had discussed the stock, it was at around 57. It has moved up to 65. Any kind of dip, one can buy this stock. Even at current levels, one can buy the stock. The target for the stock is around 75.
All right, and you can actually see a very strong move across the Nifty Bank as well. It's moved up to the day's high point too. Along with it, the Nifty Metal Index is at a record high as well, 8,856 coming in. We were discussing the metal space with Avni, and she picked out JSW Steel as her top pick on this one, and the entire space is in constant buzz even now. Anything from the PSU metals basket that you like currently, Avni, that you could mention?
Not really. So I would stick to Hindalco, JSW Steel. These are the counters that I would stick to.
ठीक है. All right. Let's also look at MCX now. Like gold has again touched an all-time high after climbing above 71,000 per 10 grams for the first time yesterday. It's again continuing on an upward trend. So 71,150 is the level it has crossed in today's trade. So the record run for gold also continues. So the focus will also be on the gold financiers in trade today. So stocks like Muthoot Finance, Manappuram Finance, they will all be in focus. As at these record high levels, gold loans could be something that will be higher and they could be benefiting from as of now. So those are the stocks that will continue to be in focus. Apart from this, anything else, Afni, that you've spotted that I've missed asking you that you can mention?
From a reversal point of view, one can also look at this is, I would say, a slightly contra call, but one can look at Wipro from the IT space. If you look at it for last 1 week, it has not made any new lows. It is holding on to the support levels. Currently, it is at support levels with a very small stop loss of 476. One can enter into the stock for a target of around 498 to 500.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are at 9:58. Time to wrap this show. The index is in strength as far as the Nifty is concerned. Almost back to its day's high, 75 points higher, 22,741. It's the IT stocks that are helping the Nifty on the long side. The IT index itself is 350 points higher, 35,424. Let's look at the pullers and draggers, the stocks that are helping the Nifty on the long side and those that are pulling it down. It's Infosys contributing 27 points to Nifty's rally, 2% higher. TCS is contributing 5 points. The two banks, ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank, are also in fine shape. And from the IT side, there is HCL Tech that is helping Infosys too. What's pulling the index lower is stocks that really don't matter as far as the heavyweights are concerned. L&T, Kotak, Bharti Airtel, Titan and BPCL all pulling down the Nifty. What is in very, very fine shape as far as markets are concerned? It's the entire metal space. Very, very strong moves coming in on Hindustan Copper, 7.5% higher, 356 in futures, about 24% in gains. National Aluminium, 5.5 rupees higher, 183.90. Steel Authority, 151 at about 4.10 rupees higher. NMDC, 1.5% higher. Remember, this is something that Avni has also picked. A very, very strong move coming into the IT space. Within the technology space, it's Infosys that is leading the points, about 1510 for you. Now the call that we had highlighted at 1500 is in the money, which basically means it will move in sync with what the future is doing in terms of the price parity. So 26 points higher on Infosys. Remember, this jump is from its 200-day DMA, therefore strong. Emphasis is the second top gainer at 25.05 at about 37 rupees higher. These are the two calls that we've highlighted, the 1500 call on Infosys and the 2500 call on Emphasis. Keep an eye out on both of them. Sakshi.
All right. Thanks, Afni, for being with us on to this very special edition. What we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, is we'll continue to keep an eye out on how the markets really take shape towards, the day as well. So do stay tuned and logged on to Business Today TV as the action continues on the other side as well. A whole lot of interesting conversations and interesting trends that you can continue to watch over various videos on Business Today TV. So stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Many thanks for joining us. Osho, which stocks would you really bet big on as markets hit record high? 2 or 3 stocks that investors can now start building positions in, positionally speaking, if you can give us those stocks.
See, firstly, HDFC Bank is looking very positive.